Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new hardware review. Today with something a lot easier to keep in frame, namely a mouse. This mouse, the Trust GXT 177 gaming mouse. It's made by a company called Trust from the Netherlands, which gave us this mouse to keep forever and ever and to review it. And well, you've seen the unboxing, you know that it comes in a very nice package, and now you're gonna see if this thing is actually that useful for games. Stay tuned. Probably the first thing you'll notice about this mouse is just how light it is when you pick it up. Compared to most other mice I've had, even the low-end ones, even the one I reviewed last time, this is like a feather. After using this mouse and then going back to the MotoSpeed one, that one feels like it weighs a ton of bricks. It's about twice, maybe even 3 times as heavy as this one. It will take some adjustment to switch to other mice if you're gonna use this for any prolonged periods of time. And because it's that light, your movements with it may be, well, again, it depends on your preference. If you like easy movement, yeah, this is the absolute best mouse for you because you will move it quite easily without any sort of problems. There is basically no weight to this. And the other thing you're going to notice about this mouse is that it's ambidextrous. Even though it has side buttons, both sides have the exact same buttons, and you can use all of them at the same time if you want to. So if you're skilled enough, you'll have 4 additional programmable buttons at your disposal. Otherwise, you'll just have buttons on both sides depending on which hand you have to use. And for ambidextrous people, this mouse can be a godsend. Like, you don't have to choose anymore. You are catered to no matter what your preference or what your ability to use a hand is. So yeah, this mouse would get a thumbs up for me just for being ambidextrous without losing any sort of functionality. Now, before I get to the actual buttons, let's talk a bit about what this mouse is made out of. It is of course made out of plastic, but it's a kind of plastic that has a texture on it that makes it feel kind of porous. It has sort of the same mattish texture that the Trust headphones I reviewed a while ago have. And this makes the mouse quite grippy actually. It won't slip out of your fingers, and it also makes it feel quite nice and not... it probably won't cause your hands to sweat that much because there's air in there. There's no surface that will just have your fingers glued to it. It's a very nice feeling to use this mouse. But it does have, however, one slight disadvantage. Because it is porous, this surface is quite easy to get dirty. And again, unlike shiny things that are easy to clean off or just matte things that really don't do that much, being porous means that the dirt has places it can hide and places it can stick, and cleaning it off is probably going to require some effort. Not only that, but because the surface, again, being porous a bit, sort of isn't flat, sort of sticks out at a microscopic level from the actual surface of the mouse, that thing will erode with time, and actually not a lot of time. You can sort of start seeing wears in it in a couple of weeks of using it, if you use it again intensely for hours and hours every day, each day of the week. So in terms of aesthetic design, yeah, aesthetically it is pleasing to the eye, but in a year this thing will probably not look quite as good, sadly, unless you clean it daily and wear a glove. Now, for the buttons themselves, the main ones, absolutely no problem with them. They are great buttons. I'm not sure if they're Omron ones, but so far they haven't failed. The wheel is the standard kind of wheel you'll find in just about every mouse possible. As for the side buttons, they're placed kind of in a standard position that most buttons would be on mice like these. One issue I have with them is that the delimitation between them, the separation, is quite vague, meaning there is sort of a danger of you pressing the wrong one by accident, mostly because they are both quite long, and again, it's kind of hard to notice with your fingers exactly what the separation is. That is if you're using your thumb. For the ones on the opposite side that you may use with your ring finger, there's a bit more of an issue. The way they're placed makes them sort of, if you're using a standard grasp for the mouse, you know, like this, you'll constantly be pressing at least one of them, the last one. So you may think about disabling that one if you don't want to accidentally click it in just about every situation, even when you move your mouse. The one that's a bit more to the front, yeah, that can probably still be salvaged, can still be used, but again, it's gonna be quite difficult. You're gonna have to retrain your entire hand to not press at least one of those buttons, and for me that hasn't happened yet, so I just disabled them both. Thankfully, the software is superb. Like, this software lets you do anything you want with these buttons. You can switch them off, you can enable them, you can do anything with them. You can set macros on them, you can even set any kind of DPI you would want on its mouse. Like, this mouse has a DPI that goes all the way to 14,400, which is a heck of a lot. That's the kind of DPI you realistically will not use in just about any kind of game. It is powered by a sensor made by Avago, namely the 9800, which is, it's an okay kind of sensor. Again, it's not the super high-end one, but it is it has very good performance and does have a polling rate of 1000. You can set just about any kind of feature you would want for this mouse, including different resolutions for horizontal and vertical if you're into that. I mean, if you have a different kind of setup with your screens, or if you prefer to play in another different kind of way, you can basically do anything you would want in the software. And you can even set one of these buttons to be a DPI switch, that when you press it down, it will switch automatically to a single kind of DPI. It's very useful if you have, again, an aiming mode in your favorite game like I did in MechWarrior Online, only again, because that would require me to press one of these buttons on the other side. Yeah, I really haven't used it that much, mostly because I would mostly accidentally press that button when I didn't mean to, which is kind of a shame. I would have preferred if this mouse actually had more buttons, like if they had 2 more down here. Yeah, that would have made this mouse quite amazing to use. The DPI switch itself, the one that's on here, yeah, I'm kind of okay with it. It's not too small, so we can actually press it with either the tip of your finger or with the sort of middle of it. It's a lot better placed than the one on the MotoSpeed mouse. It's a lot easier to use. One other feature which I didn't lead with because it's really not that important, although it's impressive, is the lighting one. Currently it's switched off because if it were switched on you would be blinded by it, and again the green screen would have probably been ruined. This mouse can emulate just about every color in its software. You can set it to display any color you would want in all sorts of modes, be it breathing, scrolling, again, just about everything you would want to. It doesn't have a whole lot of individually programmable LEDs like the MotoSpeed one, but the software that lets you actually set the color for this is functional. It is very functional, so you can get it to look like just about everything you would want to, but again, not multicolor, not something that can show different colors at the same time. Also, the lighting is enclosed, so you won't have any trouble with the lighting shooting into your eye like I did with the mouse a while ago. It's nice. The logo lights up as well. It's a nice mouse to look at, but again, it's not something that's built necessarily to be incredibly flashy, though the ability to replicate a large number of colors is a bonus feature it has compared to some other mice. In terms of gaming performance, I've had absolutely no issues with this one. It is great. Personally, I do prefer a mouse that is a bit lighter in your hand than the other ones. That's why I generally take out weights if I have a weighted mouse, just so I can have the lighter version of it. And with this one, I've had no issues. It's been superb to play Counter-Strike, to play MechWarrior Online, to play some MOBAs. Well, I don't play a lot of MOBAs, but when I do, yeah, it's nice to have a mouse that feels easy in your hand, that doesn't really require any sort of effort to move around. I did have problems again with pressing the side buttons, so I had to disable them because moving this did sort of make me press the buttons on the other side from time to time. Not the main ones. I've had no problems with them because again, the mouse requires very little effort to actually move it around. If I haven't mentioned this already, the Avago is a laser mouse, so it is invisible. You won't have any trouble with blinding yourself if you look right at it. Also, because it is a laser mouse, it may be a bit better suited to completely smooth surfaces, ones that don't have that much granularity in their texture. Other than that, it's quite a fine mouse. It costs around $60 depending on where you get it from, and for that price, yeah, I would say it's good. I mean, it's ambidextrous. That's the most important thing to note. This mouse can be used by both left-handed and right-handed people with the same exact features, the same exact potential, and that's something you will not find on just about every mouse, especially not ones that have multiple buttons on the side. So for that additional feature, yeah, I would say the price is justified. It is, in other aspects, again, it's sort of similar to the one that I reviewed from Motospeed, which was just under $20. And that one did have some more complex lighting to it, but again, this mouse does have the advantage of a sensor that goes all the way up to 14,000 dpi. One thing to note is that even though the mouse goes all the way up to 14,400 dpi, the sensor itself can only go up to around 8,200, so for the rest I'm guessing they're using some sort of software magic. And also it has a polling rate of 1000 Hz, which may be useful to people that require very high fidelity and very good response time in their games. So yeah, in closing, I would say if you're looking for a new gaming mouse that's a bit more pricey than the Motospeed one, give this a try. It's especially useful if you are left-handed. I'm not, but hey, why not keep an eye out for people that are. So that'll be it for the review of the Trust GXT 177, the GXT 177 if you want to call it like that, gaming mouse. It's quite a nice mouse. Again, it doesn't have any advanced features like more than 2 buttons on each side, though. Again, if you can adapt the way you grip your mouse well enough, you can use the other ones for a dedicated DPI switch mode, a DPI toggle, or for macros even, because in the software you can set a lot of macros if you want. You can do, again, just about anything you would want in that software. It's quite a nice mouse. So again, if you're left-handed, this will probably be a very, very nice choice. Well, that'll be it again. I'll be back hopefully with a review of a video card, the RX 480 from Sapphire, if it actually gets to us, because we ordered one in December, and Ascendia, the company that's shipping it, has lost it, so Amazon is sending a new one, and hopefully it will actually get to us. Hopefully. Just a month and a half later. Goodbye. Thank you for watching this show. If you enjoyed it, please consider watching some of our other videos and maybe sharing them or giving a thumbs up if you feel like it. And if you really, really liked what you saw, please check out our Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you could help us make much better shows and get some rewards in the process. Or you could consider buying my book called Tale of Doom. Volume 1 is out now and available for just $2. And as always, if you thought it was horrible, you know where to find me and complain about it.